Hey guys, I've spent the last few days trying to decide what technique or crafty thing that I would teach you guys first. And I decided that I was going to share one of my favorite products with you guys. 7 years ago when my husband and I built our new home, there was a certain look that I was going for in the home. I knew we were going to be using a lot of cedar, knotty alder on our cabinets. And there was a certain look that I wanted to achieve. I didn't want them too shiny. I didn't want too much polyurethane on them. So in my search for the perfect product, I actually discovered Bri-Wax. Bri-Wax is an awesome product that we have used on tons of things since we built the house. So what I've decided to do today is I picked this old washboard that I actually picked up at a craft fair. It's pretty worn, as you guys can see, very worn. Don't know how old this thing is, but it's got lots of age and years on it. So I decided I would use this to show you guys, first off, how to use the product and give you some tips and tricks and some things you want to do before you start to use a product like this on your project. So, and just so you know, it works on any wooden thing. We have taken a bedroom suit before, and it was the 1980s look, and if you guys can remember, that's got lots of polyurethane on it, almost makes the wood kind of look plastic. We've taken those and sanded them back down to make sure we get the layers of poly off. Have gotten down to not necessarily a bare wood look, but just made sure we got all of that slick feeling off. And then we used the Bri-Wax product in Tudor Brown. Gorgeous. It absolutely turned out gorgeous. I wish I had a picture I could share with you guys just to show you what you can do. So be thinking too, it may not be an old washboard that you've got laying around your house. You may be on Craigslist or at a yard sale or a flea market and find some really awesome piece of furniture, but maybe you're not just real happy with the sheen. It's too plasticky. I hate to use that word, but that's just how I feel about it. Too plasticky, too shiny. Go ahead and buy the product. Get that shine off of there. Go buy yourself some Bri-Wax and redo the thing. I think you'll be surprised. We were. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. What I use, and you can tell I've used this brush a lot, is a chip brush. And you can pick these up at any of the local home improvement stores, your hometown lumber company, which is what we like to do to support our Jones Lumber Yard here in Jones. So pick yourself up a chip brush. I spend a little bit more money and get the one that's a little bit nicer because I use it a lot. I've used it often, same brush I've been using for 7 years. You can buy the cheaper brush if you want, that's fine, but if you fall in love with this product like I fell in love with it, go ahead and buy yourself the nicer brush. So what you want to do is just, I should have left this lid on. When you open it up, it's just got a lid that I actually use a screwdriver to get the lid off. So you want to take that lid off and then get your chip brush and just barely get your Bri-Wax on. It doesn't take a lot. You will find out very quickly that a little bit with this goes a long ways. So I've got just a little bit on my brush. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I'll try to turn this, you notice already how this old, ugly, worn, faded, dry, can we just say dry? This thing is very, very dry. How it is suddenly coming back to life with this product. I'm going to direct you guys to the Bri-Wax website because you can go on there and learn about the products. They've got lots of tips and tricks to teach you about how to use the product, and it answers a lot of your questions. But basically, think of it as like a stain and a wax all in one. So what we're going to do is just work it in light coats, guys. It doesn't take much of this at all. So you don't want to put too much because, I'm going to let you in a little secret, after we get this thing covered, we're also going to start the process of, getting these cracks here, the buffing process. So if you've put a lot of the product on, when you get ready to start buffing it off, yeah, it's gonna be more work for you. So just a heads up. Plus, you don't want to waste your product either. It's not necessary. So you're just working it all in good here. Just really getting your nice even coats on. And I'll let you guys in on another little secret. This stuff works pretty awesome on metal too. I've used it on lots of things that are metal. So I'm gonna show you by going down inside these little strips of board where the metal is, and then maybe even be able to tell better on the flip side of it. So we'll turn it over here in a minute and I'll show you that too, where it's a bigger area with the metal so that you can see what I'm talking about. But it just really, even on the metal that's aged and kind of gotten old, it really, really brings that stuff back to life. I mean, just really makes it look good. So you're just working, remember, with fry wax, a little bit is better. Don't get carried away with this stuff, because I promise you, when you get to the buffing stage, if you've put too much of this on, you're not going to be happy with yourself. Don't ask me how I know that, by the way, but just trust me, you won't be happy. So you're just working, getting it all in the crevices, going back and forth. And you guys, I just can't tell you how much I love, love, love this product. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I haven't used it on anything yet that I regret or think, ooh, that didn't turn out too good. Everything that we have used this on, we love it. We love it. It's awesome. So, and I know a lot of you have commented on my posts the last few days, and I've received some text messages and some private social media messages saying that you just don't have a comfort level or feel any confidence at all in being creative, that you would like to be creative, but you just don't feel like you have a creative bone in your body. Well, this is pretty easy. I mean, really, guys, this is pretty simple. It's getting easier than this. So those of you who are like, I would like to take this piece of furniture that I find at a yard sale, or how about a curbside find? Yeah, curbside find. You might find something like this that someone's thrown out to be picked up on Big Trash Day. And you think it's cool, but it's old, gray, weathered, cracked, and dry. And you're like, don't really know if that's worth picking up. When I get done showing you guys how awesome this turns out, I think you will gain some confidence in knowing that it doesn't take a serious skill level to be creative, guys, and to find old things that might otherwise just get thrown in a dump and be hauled off to the trash sites. You can take that stuff and give it a new life. Give it a new life. And I'll let you guys know too, you know, maybe you're thinking you're a stay-at-home mom, you'd like to make some extra money. You can do things like this with things that maybe your friends and family are trashing, getting rid of, or like I said, you pick it up somewhere for a little or nothing. You could start doing this while your kids are napping and start making yourself a little income, a little fun money. Summer's coming, use that money, take the kids out for snow cones, go to the local swimming pool, head out to the zoo, make yourself some extra money to do those kinds of things with. So just because you haven't done something crafty before doesn't mean you can't start now. And this is pretty easy. This is pretty easy. Doesn't require a whole lot of skill. So I'm really hoping that as I walk through and begin to share tips and tricks with you guys and do more videos where I can show you that a lot of this stuff's not hard. You don't need to be scared of it. You just need to think to yourself that you can do it and go grab something. You could, like I said, start with something that's free. Grab something out of somebody's throwaway pile and decide that that's going to be the thing. Hey, if you screw it up, I mean, you've invested in some fry wax. You know, you invested in that. and you screwed it up, don't want to use it for yourself, don't feel like you can really sell it or, you know, give it to your mom for Mother's Day as a mother's gift, no big deal. You don't have that much money in it. But guys, I really think that for the most part, the majority of us, we've got a creative side in there. It's just finding that creative side. And I shared with one of my followers a couple of days ago that all it really takes is for you to tackle a project like this. And I'm telling you guys, with dry wax, it makes it so easy. I mean, seriously, let me turn this and let you guys look. Old, gray, dry, ugly. Well, it's pretty good, right? This is really hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I can have my grandbabies do this, and they would do a good job. You guys can do this. You can absolutely do this. This is not hard. So get your confidence up. Start off with things like this that I promise you, you cannot mess up. Even if you get too much dry wax, it's not a big deal. It's going to take you a little bit more, you know, elbow work when it comes to the buffing stage, because we are going to have to buff this. And that's what brings the luster and the shine and really makes this thing pop. So yeah, sure, kind of look back, see if I got everything covered. You know, you start off with a project like this. Help build your confidence. This is super easy, you guys. It's super easy. I promise you, you can do it. And then feel good about yourself and know that you can start being creative. You can start tackling other projects. I'm hoping to be sharing painting tips and techniques with you guys and just lots of different things that can give you the confidence to take roadside finds or things you've got at a garage sale, or maybe it's something that you've had for a long time and it's outdated and you're ready for it to be different, have a fresher look. And this dry wax might be the answer that you've been looking for. I know I love it. And while I'm finishing applying this, I thought I would also share with you guys that I love this so much, you guys, that our kitchen cabinets that you see behind me, yeah, dry wax. I did it myself, all by myself. Dry wax. And just so that you know, it does come in lots of different colors. And what you see on my kitchen cabinets, on the actual doors themselves, is the light brown. On my oven hood, which I have to brag, my cousin made that. I love it. I think he did an awesome job. Awesome job. And the naughty alder that's on it is also done in dry wax. And I used the dark brown on it. The same thing I have on my fireplace mantle. So in a few days, I will take some pictures and share with you guys, just so that you can have something to compare to, so that you can see exactly what my fireplace mantle looks like with the dry wax on it. So I'll share that with you guys in a photo, just so that you can see the different colors. Now what I did on my kitchen cabinets is I did the base coat in light brown, which is what I'm using today here. I did light brown on it, and then I wanted to create some depth and interest on my cabinets. So everywhere that there's knots in the wood, hence called naughty alder, I used my dark brown. And I got a smaller brush and I just dabbed it into the actual holes and then around the holes and kind of feathered it with real light strokes so that you wouldn't just see this big dark brown blob. So feather that out, you know, and that's how I got the look. Inside all of my crevices, inside the panels, along the edges of the panels, I just hit it with the dark brown. Hit it with the dark brown. Now it's not all one solid color. It just creates a visual interest in your cabinets. So pretty cool. And you can do the same thing on something like this. You know, I could use my light brown, and then if I wanted to get a smaller brush and force dark brown around the edges to create some depth and definition, I could do that. So just play with it, especially if it's something you found on the side of the road. I mean, what do you have to lose? Play with it. Use different colors. I can tell you this, dry wax also makes a clear wax, just called clear. And it's wonderful too, guys. If you've got a painted piece that maybe it's looking kind of dry and and you would kind of like to bring it back to life and give it a little bit of a sheen, but not that plasticky look that I talked about at the first of the video, get the clear on it. I've used clear on several things over my house. I love it. And it's so forgiving, you guys. This stuff is so forgiving. That's why I'm telling you, I don't care if you don't think you have a creative bone in your body. I promise you, you can do this. I mean, you're watching me. I'm talking to you guys and getting this done at the same time. Guys, easy. This stuff is so easy. And just look at the life. Look how this thing is just coming back to life, going to look awesome. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with this after I get done showing it to you guys. Haven't put much thought into it, but who knows? I may throw it up on my Facebook page or my Instagram page if any of you guys are interested in it. I might just stick it out there for sale. You guys, I might also add, I normally wear just rubber gloves, little plastic fan gloves when I do this. But do you think that I remembered to get those before the video started? No, I didn't. So I'm just going for it. It does come off of your hands, but I usually work with gloves on. Forgot to get those before I started, so that's okay. We're just gonna wing it. Go for it. I can clean my hands up later. In case you guys haven't noticed, I got out like my fancy best painter's drop cloth for you guys. As you can tell, I do stuff. So when you do stuff, this is how your painter's cloth looks. It looks used, guys. It looks like it's got paint all over it from however many, goodness knows how many projects. Paint, stain, no telling what else, but that's what you do. I'm gonna give you guys another little tip that I just thought about. Painter's drop cloth, and I'll tell you, I learned this the hard way. I always just assumed that it wouldn't allow paint to go through it. Well, I made the mistake of having this setting on my stained concrete floors in my house, and I painted a four-legged table on it, right? Which I guess all tables are four legs, but anyway, painted the table legs, and the next day, Mr. Stephens helped me move the table, and we picked up the painter's drop cloth, and guess what? 4 little round circles, not completely filled in, but definitely the outline of the legs, yeah, on my stained concrete floor. So I don't recommend you painting. If you really care about the surface underneath, I'll give you guys a tip that I actually can't take credit for. One of my daughter-in-laws thought of this. She's like, why don't you just go buy tablecloths and use tablecloths to protect the surface when you're painting or staining, or, yeah, why didn't I ever think of that? Anyway, tablecloths, you guys. Use tablecloths. They're wonderful. And honestly, you can pick them up for $3, $4, $5 a piece. And you can reuse them over and over again. So, get yourself some old tablecloths. They work great. And they're cheap. They're even cheaper than my painter's drop cloth. So, go get some tablecloths and use those to protect the surface that you're working on, because, you know, to be honest, I guess I need to have a little confession time here with you guys. I'm not real good about working outside because I live in Oklahoma, and outside in Oklahoma is either usually way too hot, way too cold, way too windy, and if you're an allergy sufferer like me, not a real allergy-friendly state. So I don't do a whole lot of my painting outside, just keeping it real for you guys. Unfortunately for Mr. Stephens, a lot of it's done, yeah, right here on my kitchen island. Right here on my kitchen island. So, I definitely don't want my island top, which I will share with you guys hopefully in a few days too, because I'm getting ready to refinish it. And I think I will video that as well so that you guys can see what I do there. But I don't want to ruin it. So most of the time, 99% of the time when I'm working on my kitchen island, painting a piece of furniture, I protect it with a tablecloth. Because I don't want the paint to seep through and ruin our island top. Not worried about that with the Bry Wax. The Bry Wax isn't going to seep through down to the top of my island. So, not too concerned about that. All right, guys, this may not be perfect. You know, I probably been talking too much and not making sure that I got everything covered, but it's good enough for me to show you guys kind of what it's going to look like after it's buffed. But guys, seriously, look at that. Doesn't even look like the same grayish white, ugly, dry washboard that we started with, right? I mean, just look at the sides. So much better. So, what we're going to want to do is, actually, I think they tell you on the can, and I should have read it before I started the video, I think you wait 15, 20 minutes at least to kind of let it set up before you buff it. And I'm probably not going to buff this entire thing because I do want it to have that curing time before I do the final buff on it. But I'm just going to show you guys how you would buff it. It's the same whether you're doing a washboard or a wood picture frame or a little side table that you picked up on the side of the road. The buffing process is all the same. So what you're going to do is get yourself, I got something really fancy, and that is an old t-shirt. Yeah, an old t-shirt. You can buy bags of rags at home improvement stores. You could use those, and I'll tell you something else that works really well, especially if you're using the product on cedar, which we've got a lot of cedar beams in our house. This is not good to use on cedar. Even though I sanded the cedar and it was pretty smooth, a brush, a 99-cent brush from, you know, your local Dollar Tree. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just get a brush with pretty good bristle strength to it, and you buff. Guys, that's it. You just buff. So I've got my rag, and I'm just going to run it across my washboard, and it's going to create that sheen that I was telling you guys about when we started. And it just looks so pretty, you guys. And anywhere, you're going to pick up excess in the corners because you can't help but get it more in the corners. And when you do, you just get your t-shirt in there, kind of get that extra out. And to be honest with you guys, I usually leave a certain amount, not a lot, but a little bit in the corner. And I'm going to show you guys, I don't know if you can tell, I do that on purpose because I think it makes the piece look older, kind of creates more of that antique-y, been around for a while look that I love. So unless you're not into that thing, then you could always, you know, make sure that you get every bit of that out of the corner. But I like it, so I don't get it out. I leave some of that to create and give that illusion of just old and weathered over time, and things have collected in the corners. I leave that. So I'm just going to buff, and honestly, I'm just going to buff a little bit of this. Not going to have you guys stand there and watch me buff the whole thing, but you get the point. So you're just going to wipe back off and buff. It's just giving it that shine, that sheen. That's a good shine and good sheen. It's not plastic looking. I just love it. So, and you noticed, it just freshened up even our rusty nail heads. They look better now. They look better now. So I'm going to turn it, you see this side and how it's looking. So I'm going to turn it over now, and I'm going to let you see what it did to the metal on the back side, and then that's all the buffing I'm going to do because you guys understand the buffing process. This is not hard. So I'm just going to wipe it back off of the metal grate part, and I want you guys to take a look at how good that looks. And you can start to see how good the legs are starting to look. So, let me get this done and show you guys. You know, you still got your rusty look, you've still got the old look, but it just freshened the whole thing up. I don't know if you guys paid attention before I started, but it almost kind of had like a milky look to it. That's gone. This is a wonderful product. So, I just want to encourage you guys, if you want to try your hand at being creative and seeing if you could get out there and start making old things look good again, go for it. Go for it. You guys can do this. This is not hard. And before I go, just so that you'll know, the Bry Wax Not everybody carries it. A lot of the larger home improvement stores, they don't have it. So what I suggest you do is you go to Briarwax.com and look up the retail locations, and that's going to tell you where in your area you could go pick up this wonderful product. And I want you guys to do me a favor. If you get the courage up to give this a try, I would love for you to share your final product with me on my Facebook or Instagram page. So if you tackle this, go out there and shoot me a photo so that I can take a look at it and give you guys some pats on the back that you deserve. So I enjoyed being with you guys today and hope that you've learned something. Hope I've given you some encouragement to get out there and tackle a project like this on your own. So happy creating to you guys. Bye.